Aloha! Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365, Real Broker. The team is 365, but our channel is as well. But that doesn't matter because I'm here today with Lance Owens from LUVA Real Estate. And Lance is not only going to give you guys normal stats, he's giving you historical data, which I personally think is actually a little bit more fun. Welcome, Lance, to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it, as always.
And today, you guys, we are somewhere different. We are actually at my listing at Kona East Wind in North Kona, and we're in this condo. It's number 9. It is for sale for $612,000, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And Eric is going to give you guys a little bit of, the guys over here on YouTube will get kind of like a little bit of extra footage with what the interior looks like. But the view behind us, you guys, is as stellar as you can get. It's beautiful, sweeping ocean view. It's a beautiful day today. So I'm glad that we get a chance to use that as our backdrop today as we're listening to you bring what's going on with the housing market here in West Hawaii.
Hi guys, I hope you can see how beautiful that ocean is behind us. It is a gorgeous day out.
It's no fog. We had that for a little bit too, and so you forget how awesome a clear view is. When you have fog in town, you're like, oh, why did I take that for granted, right?
It's one of those things. It gives you something to look forward to when you have a foggy day. It's like, I can't wait for that volcano to stop again. But the sunsets, were they not incredible?
Yeah, but the sun was like this little glowing ball of small. But yeah, it seemed like when it was foggy days from 1983 to 2018, that sometimes you'd get these spectacular purple sunsets. During the bog days that we had recently, it was mixed with rain. So now this is like extra special because there's no rain and we get beautiful days. So okay.
Speaking of rain, it's been wet a lot lately too, and you guys may notice something different today.
Yes.
I was running so late today that I did not stop by and pick up my favorite beverage. I know some of you guys are going to be bummed.
Yeah.
We don't have any sponsors. And
look at I never do this. Drink a friggin' McDonald's cup and a friggin' thing. But this is iced tea, and yes, we are not having as much fun.
So.
But my client owns the house. We gotta take it easy. We don't want to do anything silly. So here we are, iced tea and Sprite. Okay. I want to be completely clear when you tell us what's going on with the market.
What's happening?
What's
All right. So what's happening in May of 2024 compared to May of 2023? We sold 41 homes this month, and we sold 34 a year ago.
Okay.
So we are up 20% on the number of homes sold from what we were a year ago.
Okay.
20% more homes being sold.
Okay.
Condos are up 7%. So we had 37 a year ago, and we had 44 this month. So both the number of condos and the number of homes are both up, 20 and 18%. So let's call it 20. So that's pretty good news.
Okay. On
the numbers being sold, that's important. Median sales price. What's happening on the median price? The median price on homes was $1.379 a year ago, and today it's $1.125.
Okay, so it has gone down a little bit. Okay.
So we have been kind of, I think, for a couple months now. But if I look at year to date, we are at 1.3 average year to date, and we were at 1.195, call it 1.2 a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were at 1.2 a year ago and 1.3 this year on that. But the last couple of months we have seen lower numbers. I did look at the number of homes, and I think there was about 10 of them over 4 million that sold this month. I mean, this piece. So that's
over
that's
4
normal.
million, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one that sold for $15 million last week.
Did you? So that would have been this month,
Yeah. So that might skew little things. So
we'll see on that.
Yeah.
Median price on condos. We are looking at a year ago, and boy, this was almost all year long. It was $550 all year long. So again, it was $550 a year ago. It is $599 today.
Okay.
Year to date is $650.
Okay.
Is the median price for condos.
And this is $612,000.
So so we are right there between year to date and year over year. So it's a pretty good number you're sitting at there. I think that's good. All right. This is the one that's always asked. What's the days on market, right?
Yeah.
So days on market for residential homes is 31 days on the market as a median.
Okay.
If you want to do the average, it was 66. We always ask what was the sale price, excuse me, Not used to a Sprite this late in the day.
Yeah.
What was the sale price to original list price? The median on that was 95%.
Okay.
And then 93 at the average.
93. Okay.
Yeah. So that answers that number.
So James had a question about that. You just
Yep.
covered the median sales price for homes in Kona, right?
Yeah.
Between 500 and a million, right? And that was, one more time, just because you just asked that question.
Homes or condos?
Homes.
Residential homes, the median price went to 1.125.
Okay.
1.125. And then we did that. Condos. The condo median days on the market was 22.
Okay.
Average was 40.
Okay.
The sale to original price, the median was 96%, and the average was 95%.
Okay. So not too much different than last month.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of sitting at where we were last month. Okay. So here's the one, because Julie and I always have this banter about the sky's falling, the market's crashing, we're coming to a wall. So
We are.
I'm like, okay, let's take a look. Let me just see where we were a year ago. So, or not a year ago, because we know what that was, but we always, anybody that's been watching us for any amount of time, we go to 2019 as our average year. We do get new people in here a lot.
Yes,
Once we
yes.
buy a home, we go.
So 2019 was the year
average,
that
yeah, that's what we use for
nothing bad happened.
There's no volcanoes that took 700 homes like it did in 2018, and there was no COVID in 20. So 2019 was an average year.
Right.
So I'm going to look at residential. Well, let's look at condos because I got condo by condo right here.
Okay.
So average median days on the market for condo in 2019 was 30 days.
Okay.
It's 22 now.
Okay.
So we're not even up to normal yet.
Okay.
We're not even close to a wall.
Don't forget this data is 45 days old. I'm giving you. I have a feeling.
Okay. And the median 2019, our median sale to list price was 96%, and it is 96% today.
Okay, so
that's the same.
okay.
What do you in Amber always call it, a 4% sale on condo?
Yeah, 4%.
No, 4% sale on condo. So that's interesting.
Okay.
Price per square foot. Are you ready to cry?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
For those sensitive, just close your ears right now. The price per square foot median right now is $784 a square foot. The median per square foot in 2019 was $413 a square foot.
Wow.
So that's a huge change.
Yeah. I remember when you and I, back in 2019, were telling people it's not going to get much better. You might want to get in the market sooner than later. And I was just talking to my hairdresser who wants to get into it. He's waiting for the condos to come down to $350,000 again, which he kicks himself all the time that he didn't get in sooner. And I know that we've talked about the kicking, and it's just, and even with the market slowing a little bit and kind of getting a little softer, I don't see it coming down by 20-30%.
No,
right?
that's 350. That's that you're talking about coming down 50%.
Yeah, it's weird though. Because okay, we're just gonna have a little banter real quick. What's it called? Market dynamics. If the market was driven up because of the 2% interest rates, right? So prices all went up. Everyone got in because they got that great 2%, right? Now that the prices have gone up, but the interest rates are high too, and there's not a lot of buyers in the market, it would naturally then seem that price would start to go down. But what you're seeing though is that there's still demand in the market, and even at 96%, it's not going to really bring prices down that much.
Let me throw a couple of different things in there for you, which is affecting that. Okay, for one thing, people have they've got such a gain on their capital funds. They're allowed to write off $500,000, right? So the median home price went from, look at this, 2019. It was summary listings highest. I do not have the median home price on that. Sorry. Well, we do know it was the.
So average was around 835. Median, is that 622?
Yeah, so 622.
Yeah.
And the median's 1.125 right now. Year to date is 1.3. So let's say you got
50%,
600.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Went up 100%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Okay.
So if you're a married couple,
Uh-huh.
you're still going to pay capital gains on things, right? You're going to
Right.
have a high, so people don't want to pay the taxes on it, so
Right.
they're holding on to it.
Yeah.
Now, if you sold that home for 1.1 or 1.3, what are you going to buy at 7% interest? You're going to be paying the same amount you're paying for this big house you want to get rid of.
Right.
You know, it's been 4 years, 5 years since you bought it,
Yeah.
5 years from 2019. It's time to downsize.
Right.
So you're going to sell that home on the side of the hill,
Right.
and you're going to move into this condo, and your payment's going to be higher than it was in that big house.
Oh.
So
unless
why would you
you're
sell
planning, well, unless you plan on selling out of Hawaii and then going to visit your family and, go buy a house in North Carolina,
it? Yeah.
right? Because then the housing market's a little bit not as strong there. But
It's not strong, but you still got that
you still
huge
have to pay
capital
that
gain.
capital gains tax, okay.
And just think if you lost your spouse,
Yeah.
because there are people getting older, or
Right.
they've gotten divorced, and those,
Yeah.
a lot of people got divorced during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Couldn't live with each other.
Yeah.
Under quarantine. So you've only got that write-off for so long, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like if your spouse died, I think
Yeah.
you got 2 years.
Oh.
So, they're either forcing you to sell when you're still under duress of losing someone you cared about.
Yeah.
Or if you wait too long, you're paying that. Could you imagine you only got a $250,000 write-off on that home that's got $600,000 or $700,000 worth of equity in it
Oh.
that you did? So they're not selling it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the big
Which
thing.
also reminds you guys, make sure you check with your tax advisors when you're going to sell your house in this market, right? Yeah.
And you've got HARPTA and FERPTA and things like that,
Yeah.
So really quick, HARPTA is a tax. It's a withholding. It's not a tax. It's a withholding that Hawaii does when people leave the state, or they're selling something here that and they live on the mainland already, that they withhold it until they know that you've paid all your taxes. So people freak out. It's
It's 7%.
7.25%, I think it is.
So they'll pull that away from you when you decide to sell the house and hold
Yeah.
it for you.
They'll hold it, and you can file your taxes early and get the
Okay,
refund
yeah.
on that. So, but it's still it's a chunk of your money that they're holding up until
And
they
you
make
can't
sure.
use that for something else until you get it back.
Right.
So that's, you just know, know that too, if you're from out of state, that's the key. And then the FERPTA is the foreign, which takes like 22%.
No, I think it's like 15. It changes at price points, and I'm sorry, I haven't had a FERPTA seller for quite a while.
Because it doesn't
So-
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest thing. So that's one of the things we were pitching in Washington D.C. is that you've got to raise the capital gains, the amount that a couple and a single person.
Because
you
the
know?
price of housing has gone up, so you
Yeah.
got to rise up for
Yeah,
the
I think the
concept,
last
right?
time that number was put on there in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
So think about what a home cost in the 90s versus what a home costs today. So
Yeah.
it needs to be adjusted. That's why we went, that was one of the reasons we went to DC. Another thing we were pushing for while we were there is to take, there's people that can't move, the interest rates, things like that. They want to revamp the home,
Right.
They want to redo it. So we're trying to get in areas to where they don't have enough equity in the home to do that, to give a credit to the contractors to actually do the work in that neighborhood, so it can lower the price.
Oh,
So that these people can get a loan and they can get their home fixed up if they're not able to move out of it.
oh,
So there's a couple of good things.
that's nice.
Yeah.
This is what realtors do for the public, you guys.
Yeah. So that was
awesome.
a couple of good things. Yeah.
Okay.
So we guys have a break. JJ says there's a condo that's been for sale here for months, and it's priced around $540. This is Casa Diablo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 1-1, and I heard the owners are anxious to sell and might take quite a bit less. The HOAs are going through the roof with the new insurance requirements too.
Yeah.
On top of that, so that was her comment.
So one thing is we're getting hit with these insurance rates, and I know I've talked to you guys about it before,
Yeah.
but I've been for the last 3 weeks interviewing candidates for state offices. We've been on Maui, Kauai, Oahu, Hilo. It's been all over. So the interesting part is everybody's getting these huge their increase in their insurance bills. You guys know I built my home 4 years ago. It's got a metal roof. I'm not along the coast. I'm not in a burn area. I'm in none of the above, and my rates just went up 87%.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, I can absorb it. It's okay. But think if you're on a fixed income.
That's what I'm saying. The older
Yeah,
people that are
yeah.
in these condos now with these fixed incomes, it's like all of a sudden your rates just went up
Some of them
$150, $200 a month.
Some of them have gone up $500 a month to cover it because they were hit. It depended. At the beginning of the year, the legislators went in. They were trying to get some money put aside to do something like the Hawaii Hurricane Relief Fund back after Hurricane Iniki wiped out the island. So, Kauai, and it was. People didn't want to listen because really what they had built that bill around to focus on was like your high rises, more so that you would see in Honolulu, that had the water pipes that were 60 years old.
Yeah.
And that, sorry, I was going to shut off the ringer. Wasn't my phone though.
No.
So it was a Band-Aid for that, and a lot of people are like, just because their board of directors did not take care of their business, we aren't going to subsidize them. But what it's turned out to be is across the board. It's across the board, so everybody's having
has to
it.
shoulder some of the pain.
Yeah, homeowners, everybody, and it is. They say it's not based on the Maui fires. It is based on the Maui fires. It's based on everything worldwide. They're saying everything worldwide, but we were always quiet over here in the Pacific, and we never stood out for anything. Remember, we haven't had a really devastating hurricane since '92. And so, for 30 years.
But get this, Lance, when Eric and I first came here and we did a story about insurance, we have the potential for more catastrophic natural disasters on this island than anywhere else in America. And yet the insurance companies did not actually look our way and do anything strange to us. And, we were like, so the hurricanes, the earthquakes, the volcanic explosions, I mean, we've had it all. We've had dengue fever. We've had, tsunamis. I mean
everything. What is it, 2006, that house was floating out in the bay in Kealakekua Bay.
Yeah.
So
2011. 2006 was the 6.9 earthquake.
Oh yeah, that's right. Our big earthquake.
Yeah, we've had between you and me, just being here for the last 15 years. We've had a massive tsunami, right? I wasn't here when '92 happened with the Iniki, so I didn't see us getting hurt with a hurricane. But I saw Lane and 3 other hurricanes in East Hawaii caused lots of damage, right? And then we've had the Kona winds causing all kinds of damage.
Yeah, Kona winds.
And then we've had.
They always blame Kona for everything.
I know the Kona winds. It's a strength of the wind. But then we've also had. What else could happen to us? So hurricanes, earthquakes. We had the 6.9 earthquake. We had a 6.9 earthquake when we got the volcanic explosion. So we've seen at least 2 massive ones, Mauna Loa and
we had a pretty
Kilauea.
big fire burn too. The same day Maui did.
20,000 acres burned near Waikoloa Village one time, and then the same day that it happened in Lahaina, it happened in Kauai and Kahala Ranch. So we've had crazy shit happen. But somehow we've always been like this.
We've been
down on the low, and now it's like we had. In fact, you're the second person who told me that their insurance company called you and said, okay, we're going to start doing something strange to your house insurance.
Get this. So one of my clients, we were in escrow with him, and he shared the email with me. I was surprised when I read it, but one of the prominent insurance companies had sent him an email and said, you know what, we looked at the pictures on the MLS of your house, and we're not going to insure you because your roof looks old.
Oh, no.
And remember, that's how a lot of the fire spread, right? Embers and stuff landing on roofs and things like that in dry areas where it swept across. The areas where that survived the fast-moving fires were concrete or the metal and things like that. So it was like, if you do want to get insured with us, you're going to have to replace that roof with a metal roof. So I called and got him a estimate on a metal roof.
How much is that?
$72,000 was the estimate for that. To take off the old roof and put on a metal roof and do it. And it was
So a metal roof's that much more expensive than shake and shingle and everything else?
Well, this client did want to get the standing seam roof, which is quite a bit more. Okay. Yeah. And it was that rental house that I used to have down on Makahiki Lane. Yeah, so it was that house. So I mean, it was a good sized house.
Yeah.
And it was, but it wasn't that old. It was 19 years old. Had a 30-year roof on it. Just had a home inspection done on it. They said, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, you are might want to think about replacing this roof.
Yeah.
The clients were prepared for that mentally. I mean, they based their offer price on knowing that, and and they just couldn't get it. So they finally found somebody that would insure them like that.
Yeah.
And I think they had to sign something that they were going to do the roof soon.
Wow.
So,
okay. Well, somebody said a smart. I remember who somebody that was. That was Amber, who said that for people buying in East Hawaii, as soon as you think that you might want to get a house, call an insurance company and see if you can actually get insurance on that house and how much it's going to cost. Because the true cost of home ownership might be different than you think based on the availability of insurance.
yeah.
So, do you think the same thing for West Hawaii as well?
Now, also, I never would have said that before, but now, yeah, it's an issue since the fires. And I've always thought that we were kind of, we were underpaying, I think. So we went from underpaying to overpaying instead of stopping in the middle where we should be. And I base that off all the comments, 20 years of selling here, of people coming in and saying,
wow, your
that's not
insurance."
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, your taxes, your insurance, it's not bad. So that's not happening anymore. So.
This is not the sleepy, cheap little island any longer.
No.
Yeah, in fact, I've heard just in the last 3 days people saying, I want to move there because it's the least expensive island to live on in the entire island chain. And it's
I don't know if that's true. I mean, I guess if you get on the east side, it is.
Yeah, in East Hawaii, yeah. But if you have to pay how much a month for your insurance in East Hawaii, it doesn't make it so cheap anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know, it's just it's just getting more expensive.
Yeah.
Right? And
Life
so
is
that's
more
another thing too that no one like Eric. It's so funny because you and Lance, we get listen to Jojo's got bad news about interest rates. We sometimes have bad news about something. Well, the bad news is, guys, is that HOA fees are going to go up because the insurance rates are going up.
Yeah.
And our friend JJ said that condo over in Casa and Demko is sitting there. They have some of the highest HOA fees, and they just got a rate increase. So
that's the hard part because everybody had actually caught up to Casa. I remember 20 years
like,
ago.
oh my God, it's $1,100.
Yeah, and a lot of people had caught up to them. Kanaloa and those other places surpassed them, and they weren't in the worst category anymore. And all of a sudden, it is going to come up some there. It's going to come up some every place.
Yeah.
The Pines, there's another place, Li'ilani. We always talk about Li'ilani when we do our.
Yeah, they just got their assessment. They're going up by about 150 a month.
150
HOAs a month, and then we had someone in escrow the day before their closing. They announced that they're going to raise the interest rates the insurance rates like 170%. I mean, it was insanity. And so it was too late to get out of it. But they took a hit on the reserves a little bit to pay for part of it, I think.
Yeah.
But it went up to it went from 5 something to 675 or something. So it wasn't that bad.
That's not horrible.
But the thing is that a lot of people looked at Kona Coffee Villas as one of the more affordable HOAs because they're away from the ocean. And now that it doesn't really matter where you are, they're just going to get you. That happened too. So when you guys are looking at condos now and you think you knew what it was a couple months ago, look at it again and ask what those HOAs are.
And ask if they've gotten their new insurance rate. Because remember, we're just coming off of the fire was in August of last year. And it probably took, 3 or 4 months for them to figure out. I mean, we're just now hearing about these increases, 6 months, 8 months later, right?
Yeah.
So actually, we're coming close to a year. We're at 10 months.
Yeah. Well, they had no idea it was going to cost $5 billion to replace Lahaina.
Yeah.
And somebody has to pay for that. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of us. So
it's going to be everybody worldwide.
Yeah, but then somebody said that the insurance companies were asleep at the wheel and having all these buildings underinsured.
Yeah.
So
and then they weren't underinsured as much as we were being undercharged.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well,
but we surely went up a little bit.
Well, when the price of housing went up 100%, they did not match that. So the replacement costs on it are crazy. Versus what you were paying for it.
If their association wasn't looking at that, because I know personally, I upped our insurance the last several years.
Oh, you have?
I watched what my home was worth.
Yeah.
And I was not going to, when the prices almost doubled on 30% more than what it cost us to build, I'm like, I'm not going to lose out on that.
Yeah.
But I did not do that this year. I felt we were stable enough.
Yeah.
Our house has been stable, so I didn't ask for an increase this year. And we still went up 87%. So.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling it's kind of health insurance, Lance, that there's going to be some people who are going to do the bare minimum and hope that they don't break their legs, and they're just going to take it when it happens.
Duct tape a stick on your leg.
I know,
and
but with
walk it
insurance,
off.
it's like unless you have a mortgage, because if you have a mortgage, you have to have insurance. But some people might just take their chances.
Yeah, and that was the interesting thing because they can't. If you're in a condo,
You can't do that.
You can't
But if you
do
have a
that.
single family house, you could.
yeah, if you have a single family house, you can self-insure. If you had enough people that had money in your condo association that could self-insure,
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing. And that's kind of what the state was going, or what they were trying to get the state to do, was be a last case type of last chance insurance.
Yeah.
And again, they did that during a Niki, and it worked. And one of the things was all the players played. So the banks, at closing, the banks put money into this account.
Yeah.
The buyer and seller put money into this account. The insurance companies put money into this account. What got wrong and what got them off track, the insurance company said, we aren't going to pay this time, and crossed their arms and said, we're not going to be part of this. We're already taking this hit. And it's like, no, everybody, to solve this, we all need to be part of the solution. So
And
fell
they
apart,
didn't.
but I wouldn't be surprised, because I talked to 71 candidates, I forget how many were incumbents, that there's a decent chance they might go call a special session
Oh, really?
to deal with this issue.
Okay,
So
okay.
here, I would say with confidence 100% they would do it if it wasn't an election year.
Oh.
It's an election year, and with campaign laws, they have to stop. They can't ask for funds. I think. Don't quote me on this. It's like 2 weeks before the special session, during the special session, and 2 weeks after. So with the election coming in April, if they lost
You mean
a
August?
month. In August, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
August, yeah.
in August. Where did I come up with April? It starts
I
with an
love
A.
Oh, well, that was this year, Lance.
Yeah. So, but they can't lose a month's worth of trying to raise campaign funds right now. So, sadly, politics is probably going to have play in this.
Wow.
Coming.
Well, then I think when it was like in the news a couple days ago, or like last week or something, some guy in a top level state official basically told the insurance companies, "You're trying to do this to us on a one-time, what they call it, black swan event with what happened to Lahaina." But I think it's worse than that. I think it's that the insurance companies have to deal with basketball-sized hail that is now falling in Texas.
Yeah.
And some of the crazy stuff, and then knowing that more crazy is coming.
They put out that map. We should post it. Sue Savia, who's one of the biggest insurers, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but Allstate, Farmers, State Farm, Geico, all these guys, they reinsure. They don't actually hold our insurance.
Yeah. Oh, they just
We
pass
pay
it
them,
off.
and then they reinsure it with 4 companies worldwide.
Okay.
So these 4 companies worldwide have said we've taken a hit here, and all these other countries around the world.
Oh, yeah.
So they're saying it's the biggest, worst in history that they've had with devastation.
Yeah.
So it's huge. I think they are gouging us. I think that is part of the problem. I think part of the problem, there needs to be some reform on, there's people going down, a hailstorm comes and your house is fine. There's guys going around in the Midwest knocking on doors saying, let me climb on your roof, I'll get you a new roof. And they'll find some broken shingles or some broken things that you might have just would have been fine for years to come.
Yeah.
So anyways, they've got to do some reform on what's going on.
Well, one of our normal watchers, James, was telling me that he had a couple rentals, and the worst hailstorm ever came in and damaged everybody's roofs all at the same time.
Yeah.
That cost a lot of money.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it smashed their cars too.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden the car insurance dudes had to worry about replacing all the cars. So when you talk about where everybody gets it at once.
Yeah.
And then you can see why
entire
trying
city.
to an entire city, an entire
Entire
area.
city.
It's like I can see why insurance companies go, this might not be the most profitable place to be.
Yeah.
But then we kind of take it as God-given right that we should get insurance.
Well,
So-
that's what insurance is about, is to share the losses between everybody, right?
Yeah, well, mounting losses mean mounting costs.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that, now I'm going off on my philosophy, but I think, when these homes are flooded and wiped out from, say, the Mississippi River going up over its banks, or these storms hitting the coast, they should be totaled just like a car is totaled.
Oh, and stop letting people build these places.
Stop letting them rebuild.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if it's an area that's going to hit over and over and over again, I can see that.
Yeah,
That's
some of the Florida experience.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just keep rebuilding these flat islands, and that are out there.
Yep,
They get
yep.
wiped out every
Yep.
5 years.
Yeah. Well, I remember for when I was involved with the National Association of Realtors, the populace of Florida was basically subsidizing the insurance for the multi-million-dollar homes along the coast that kept getting hit, and they felt that wasn't fair either.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I bet at some level they're going to say it gets taken out once. FEMA's not going to give you any money if you do it twice.
Yeah,
right, and then the insurance company is going to say too.
Well, you're allowed to rebuild a car that's been totaled.
I know, yeah,
right?
exactly. So FEMA's getting hit left and right too. So they're kind of like looking at, okay, this is what we're not going to do anymore. And when we were living in California, there was a place called Gurneyville, and it was next to the Russian River, and that like clockwork. That place would get swamped and flooded, and people were starting to build up on stilts.
Yeah.
And it was, and then finally FEMA came in and said, "This is it.
We're done.
We're done. If you want to live here, that's your responsibility.
Yeah.
You're not going to get insurance. You're not going to have anybody help you. You freaking do it on your own." So yeah. So that's what might happen to different places where. Well, at the end of the day, it's not like they're doing it in Lava Zone 1.
Right.
Right. You are probably going to get taken out by a volcano. We are not going to feel bad for you.
Yeah. How many people could go into Lava Zone 2 and rebuild over where the Lava Zone just went and get insurance?
They could. It costs money.
I don't know. If they went in the area where the flow was, I think...
People are still buying houses in Leilani Estates.
Yeah, I mean on the flow.
On the flow.
Like where the banks have gone over.
Yeah.
And they can't build there. They still build in the city and around there.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So we're
going way off topic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do we have anybody watching us?
Everybody's left.
No, you guys are good. They're all there. There's a few there.
Okay. It's like, it's kind of like this podcast about just issues around what's happening here in Hawaii. So if you're thinking about moving here, or if you already own a home here, it's good information to say, hey, I need to start thinking about this stuff. So yeah.
I always go back. I'm telling these guys privately all the time. I don't think I say it a lot publicly, but I listen to this barbecue podcast. It's 2 hours every Tuesday night. And my wife is like, how can you listen to 2 hours about barbecue at any time in your life, let alone 2 hours every Tuesday night?
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because I'm like, they get into so much more. The
philosophy of dry rubs.
Science of the things, these guys that are making their dry rubs and how they're doing with the business, guys doing food trucks. All kind and cigar aficionados or whatever they call them.
Aficionados,
who doesn't have a cigar in their mouth when they're sitting around the barbecue pit too? So it's all things to do with barbecue. So
you guys that were in YouTube land, I want you guys to in the comments tell me how many of you are smoking cigars while you were barbecuing. Too funny. But also in the comments, you guys, let us know if you actually have been affected by this insurance issue. I think that we'd like to see if this is happening all over.
Tell us it's happening worldwide. We have an audience that's nationwide.
Yeah, at least.
And it would be good to see.
Yeah, just that everyone can gauge kind of what's happening and where so if your insurance has been canceled or it's gone up, and where you live, like a city, so people can start saying, okay, I can see where that's coming from.
Connect the dots.
Yeah, because it's a crisis. I think it's a crisis.
It is.
So let's see if it's really affecting everybody. Is there any other?
I don't think so. We never really talked about the residents, the homes, on the actual 2019 numbers. I don't think we did. We a little bit on it, but really quick.
Yeah.
It was 48 days on the market was the median days on the market for homes in 2019.
And it's 30 something now.
And today it's 30. Sorry, that was condos. I jumped back. 31, you're right.
Okay.
31 versus 48. So we are still doing way better than a normal housing point. Yeah, okay. You know what? We didn't talk about absorption rate too. So absorption rate, guys, remember 15 to 20 is a balanced market. We were up in the 90s 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. We've been slowly coming down, and we are at, what is my absorption rate today? 27%.
Okay, so that means it's still a seller's market.
Still a seller's market.
Okay.
And that would be considered a strong seller's market prior to COVID. COVID set a whole new world record.
Yeah, exactly, and how that was going to go.
On a seller's market.
Yeah.
But BC before COVID. We got AC, BC.
Okay.
So,
well, I guess,
okay. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, cash sales.
Yeah, how much was it?
On homes that sold, out of the 41 that sold, 21 of them were cash. Mm-hmm. One was a VA, one was a 1031. Out of condos, we had 26 out of the 44 were were cash.
Okay.
2 were 1031 exchanges, and no VA loans there. And active right now, condos. Remember, a strong market's 135. I mean, in a normal market's 135 condos for sale. We're at 106. That's the highest we've been in a long time. So we are seeing the number going up. There's only 27 contingent. That's not enough contingent right now to get to 44 at the end of this month. So it'll be interesting to follow that market.
Yeah.
On homes, there's still only 99 active. There should be 165 active. And there's 75 contingent, so they can easily have 40 of those closed by the end of the month.
Okay,
so,
which is still it's still a moving market.
it's still a moving market.
Okay.
I think that's it now. Thank you guys.
Yeah, someone please come buy this condo.
Yeah, we are at this beautiful condo.
Okay, so then let's see what happens next month, right?
Yep.
But if you guys want to also find out what's happening around the whole island, next Thursday, Lance is going to be back, kind of giving an abbreviated version of this. So if you guys want to ask questions, we're going to be doing it as a Zoom call, so you can join the Zoom call. To do that, you need to join the Ohana, which is a 365 HawaiiLiving.com, and then we'll get you on the email to get the link to the Zoom, or you can get it. I'll be posting it on the Facebook group. Again, you can get in the Facebook group if you join the Ohana. And the people over in Facebook, if you guys want us to talk about something specific, you have a question for Lance to answer at that point, let us know or write it right now. And then also we have people from South Hawaii, and we've got Waikoloa and Waikoloa Village, North Hawaii, and East Hawaii, all on that one call, plus a mortgage guy. Joe Egan will give a mortgage update, what's happening with rates. And I heard since inflation went down, we're at least it's a better feeling in America, supposedly a little bit now. So we could talk a little bit more about how that's affecting the country and interest rates next week. So please join us, and you guys, thanks as always for being here, and thank you for being here with your wonderful
always
statistics,
inviting me.
your thoughtful
I appreciate it.
conversation. Okay, you guys, have a good one. Aloha.